All real estate is local, guys. You know that, right? You want to know why? Check out my background. Let's get into it. Hey guys, how you doing? Derek here from M1 Realty. I'm the broker owner of the company, founded it in 2014, and we're now the #1 real estate firm in the city of Ferndale, Michigan. I've got an all-star team of agents. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, invest, rent, whatever you need to do, we've got you covered. Obviously, if you haven't guessed yet, I'm not in Ferndale today. I'm in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona. I'm out here for a real estate mastermind event, but I wanted to take this opportunity just to highlight how, even though we're all dealing with the same overall economic factors across the country, interest rates, the overall economy, inflation, the whole 9 yards, real estate is such a hyper-local business that there's some huge differences between the market that they are experiencing out here and the market that we're experiencing at home. Now, I've got actually a pretty good amount of insight into the local real estate market here in Phoenix. And I don't know if you know this about me or not, but I am a graduate of Arizona State University. I lived here in the Phoenix metro area for 5 years. And, I've come here, at least every 6 months. We do a mastermind event out here in Phoenix twice a year. So a lot of my friends that, that I talk to a lot about, the real estate business are in this market. So I have, again, just a really good understanding of how things are here versus how they are at home. And the main thing that everybody that I've spoken to out here that's in the real estate business has talked about is their inventory levels. Now, the inventory here in Phoenix has absolutely exploded. They've gone from super low inventory levels like what we've been dealing with back in Michigan up to, they've drastically increased. They've quadrupled just in the span of a couple of months. Now, this has had the effect of actually dropping their average sale price down by almost 20%. They're almost 20% down from where they started at the beginning of the year. Now, in Arizona, they're obviously dealing with the exact same macroeconomic factors that we're dealing with as far as inflation, as far as interest rates. We're at a 6.75% interest rate for a 30-year fixed conventional mortgage. Back at home, they got the same deal here. So as I've been saying, if you pay attention to this channel and have seen my last several videos, I've said everything in our market has to do with inventory and the lack of it. I've been saying it doesn't matter what happens with interest rates. It doesn't matter what happens with the overall economy. It doesn't matter what happens to inflation, within reason. Obviously, if interest rates go up to, 15, 16%, that's going to have a massive impact on prices. But we're not there yet. We're not even close. Now, the one thing that they have in Phoenix that we don't have in our market is a ton of new construction. Now, obviously, we've got new builds, not so much in the Woodward corridor, but just in the Metro Detroit area in general. There are builders that are building homes. They're just not building them at the pace that they are here. Now, the effect that that's had is their inventory levels have actually gone up, whereas ours are still extremely low. We're literally at 16% of the inventory that we had in 2006. We're at 50% of the inventory that we had in 2017. And we didn't have a particularly high level of inventory in 2017. So we've just dropped off a cliff in our market, whereas that's not the case here. Now, they're to the point here in Phoenix where, the agents that I've talked to, and we're talking some of the heavy hitters in the Phoenix area, some of the best of the best, and they're having conversations with their home sellers right from the get-go, where are we going to drop the price to in 30 days if we haven't gotten the house sold? Because the average days on market has gone up considerably as well. That's not something that we're dealing with either. Now, personally, what I've experienced is, the average days on market has gone up a little bit, but it's still well under 30 days on average. But I personally haven't experienced, and our numbers are indicating, that this is an overall trend in our market too, is that our average sale price is still going up. We haven't really dropped down. There's a couple of cities around the metro area where the month-over-month average sale price has dipped down just a tiny bit. We're talking less than 1%. Whereas, like I said, they're dropped 20% across the board here in Metro Phoenix. Another thing that we're not really dealing with in our market in Detroit is where the inventory is going to come from. Now, obviously, there's a whole stockpile of backlog of ready-made new build homes here that we're not experiencing. But I've mentioned this in several of my videos that a lot of our inventory that would have been on the market right now if this was a normal market got bought up 15 years ago in the Great Recession. Those properties were so cheap that investors swooped in from all over the country and all over the world, really, bought up a lot of these houses. They're not going to see the market again. They're not, those aren't dependent on market factors. There's no emotional attachment to those homes. There's no reason for those people to put those houses on the market. They paid cash for them. They own them free and clear. So it doesn't matter if they rent them for $2,000 a month or $1,000 a month. They're still cash flowing investment vehicles. Whereas this market has grown so fast. Like when I lived out here, they're actually developing an acre of desert an hour for residential property. It's like expanded like insanely from the time that I lived here, where by and large Metro Detroit is, you know, pretty roughly the same size. I mean, it's expanded a little bit, but for the most part, you know, a lot of that's infill. Like we've actually expanded, like we developed our, you know, inner city. Like downtown Detroit looks nothing like it did in 2008. You know, it's a real city now, whereas, you know, this metropolitan area has just expanded outward into the desert. But long story short, I feel much more confident about being able to predict our market than I do here. I know the agents that I've talked to here are not super confident that they know what's going to happen at all. Like everybody's expecting interest rates to go up. You know, I think I've been pretty clear about that. You know, the Fed's not done raising interest rates on their end, so we can expect mortgage rates to keep going up as well to compensate for that. But when you have more buyers out there than you do houses to put them in, the average sale price is still going to continue to go up. Houses are still going to continue to sell and sell quickly. And while I do love it here, it's kind of my second home, my home away from home, and I love the fact that it is mid-October and it's 86 degrees right now at night. I feel a whole lot more confident that I sell houses in Metro Detroit than I would if I lived here. So let me just take a minute to talk about what I do expect to happen in our market. I think I've kind of briefly already touched on it, but I wouldn't be shocked if, you know, short of interest rates going sky high to combat, you know, runaway inflation, which could happen. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, but I would expect, you know, interest rates to probably, you know, go up a little bit by the end of the year. I expect maybe we'll be in the mid sevens, which realistically still is right around the average for the last 40 years. Last 40-year average for mortgage rates is 7.17%. So we're currently still below average. You know, I'm being realistic, you know, expecting them to continue to go up. I mean, who knows how long. It seems like we're maybe starting to get a handle on inflation. We're not there yet. And until we're there and that's taken care of, you can expect interest rates to keep going up. But if the past several months where this has already been happening, interest rates obviously are, you know, more than double where they were from the beginning of the year, and home prices have continued to increase, as you know, despite that fact, you know, I don't expect that to really change, simply because, you know, what I've already said, we don't have the inventory to cause a market crash in our market. So my best advice is, you know, if you're thinking about buying, you know, I talk to a lot of people about real estate, obviously, and one of the most common responses that I'm getting for why somebody doesn't want to buy a property right now is they kind of want to wait a year and see what happens. Well, I can pretty confidently predict that what's going to happen is interest rates are going to keep going up, and so are home prices. So my best advice is, if you're thinking about it, you may as well do it now, because unless you're looking to like get into a property and just do a quick flip, like if you don't only plan on owning it for, you know, 6 months to a year, then, you know, this advice isn't gonna fly. But, you know, the average person lives in a home for 7 years. So if you're looking to buy a house and live in it 3 or 5 or 7 or more years, then what harm is there in buying now as opposed to waiting? If you buy a home now and interest rates end up going up, well then congratulations. You just locked your home in at a lower rate. If you buy a home now and interest rates go down, well, congratulations, you can refinance anytime you want. If you buy a home now and prices go up like we expect them to, then congratulations, you got a pretty good deal as opposed to what you'd be paying for it a year or 2 or 3 from now. And if prices go down, it's temporary. You know, interest rates aren't going to stay high for any longer than the Fed has to keep them high. I'm pretty confident about that. They would love to see interest rates settle back into an area between 4 and 5%. That's, you know, pretty reasonable. That stimulates growth. Problem is, we've had too much growth. There's too much demand and not enough supply right now. That's in the overall economy as well as our real estate market, but it's a pretty good corollary. You know, when you have a lot of demand like we do in our housing market and no supply, prices are going to keep going up. So there we are. And that's not to mention, you know, on the mortgage side, our creative partners, you know, lender partners that we partner up with have kind of dusted off every trick in the book that they haven't had to use in several years. And we've got things, you're going to start seeing a lot of adjustable rate mortgages again. They got the 2-1 buy down, which is a really cool concept where it's essentially the first year you buy a house, your rate is basically bought down to, say it's 4.5%. The second year it goes up to 5.5%. The third year it adjusts to whatever the prevailing interest rate is, and it stays there. The reasoning behind that being, 3 years from now, hopefully, knock on wood, interest rates have settled back down into that 4 to 5% range, so they're not going to adjust up crazy high. The beautiful thing about that too is the fact that now we're getting into a market, we're not 100% there yet. In Phoenix, they're definitely there, where on every deal pretty much they're asking the seller to pay some of the closing costs. The last few deals that I've gotten under contract with buyers, we actually have gotten seller concessions out of it. So it's not something that's unheard of in our market. But when you do that, you can get the seller to pay your rate buy down. So it's not even coming out of your pocket. So it's really a pretty nice product. And I'm probably going to do a video here coming up with one of my lender partners so that they can describe it better than I can. And I just want to bring that to your attention, like some of the other programs that we have out there that are basically designed to get you a lower rate, make home buying more affordable for you. And until next time, thank you so much for watching this, guys. I really would appreciate it if you would like this video, subscribe to this channel, most importantly, share this video out to anybody that you think would benefit from it. That just keeps me in front of people just like you who are interested in the Metro Detroit real estate market and all the options that are out there for you, whether you're looking to buy or sell. And as always, if you have any questions, want to reach out to me, you can always call or text me anytime. I've got 2 phone numbers. My first one is 586-491-5622. You can also reach me at 248-561-6155. Shoot me an email, dwerenka@m1realty.net. Reach out to me on Facebook Messenger, Twitter, Instagram, you name it. Post a comment down below, I'll answer it. Whatever you guys need, I'm here for you. And until next time, thanks so much for watching. We'll talk soon, and have a great day.